AMN DriveTime is sponsored by Aishin, your trusted and reliable source for aftermarket automotive components and technology. Visit aishinaftermarket.com for more information.
Mike, welcome to AMN Drive Time, sponsored by our great friends at Aishin.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. As you know, but for the benefit of our audience, we are sitting in Greater Detroit at MEMA Vision 2026.
Good conference.
Yep, great conference, and thanks so much for making the time to be with us.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
So, for the benefit of our audience as well, Mike, why don't you walk us through your professional career and how you came to Forvia Hella in 2023. And I think that most people know Hella. I know I know Hella. I've been to your place in Georgia. But talk about Forvia as well.
Yeah, so I came up through what's called the Faurecia side. And Faurecia, there was 3 business groups: seating, interior systems, exhaust systems that became clean mobility, and electronics. They ended up partnering with Hella, who makes electronics, lighting, and life cycle solutions. So I came up on the Faurecia side. When that merger happened, they created a parent called Forvia. So a lot of times you'll see the parent logo Forvia with a Faurecia logo underneath it or a Hella logo underneath it.
Okay.
Both brands are not going anywhere. They're strong, independent brands. Faurecia is going to stay, Hella is going to stay, but Forvia is there as a parent.
Okay. And talk about your career.
So again,
we knew you grew up in Cleveland.
Yes, and I went to, like I said, the best, cheapest engineering school at the time was University of Toledo.
Yep.
So I did that, and I can't say I was the best student, but I got hooked up with a small company called AP Parts. Okay, yes, it's the same lineage.
I know them very well.
I was employee,
based in Toledo.
Based in Toledo, I was employee number 26. And started calling on Ford, GM on designing and developing exhaust systems for business that we would win. We were one of their 3 exhaust suppliers. And that's how I cut my teeth. I grew up personally and professionally, calling on the OEMs for about 30 and a half years. And then switched over to the independent aftermarket side, which is a lot more fun, by the way. Much more personable.
Yep.
But I learned a lot. That side of the business really teaches you a lot about discipline. Designing, developing, and launching product tells you a lot about what goes into it, the quality aspects of it. Learned a lot.
Right, fantastic. Yeah, we know AP very well. We used to call on them in Toledo, and they had a great history, AP.
Yeah, and then it became AP Automotive Systems, then became Faurecia, and then that merger with Hella happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Explain how Hella evolved into Forvia Hella. And what does that transition represent for the company and, equally important, for your customers?
So when Faurecia and Hella came together and they made the parent Forvia, the Hella brand's going to stay, so you'll see it out there as just Hella or Forvia Hella. So when the 2 companies came together, they were both, there's a lot of synergy there on both sides. They've merged into having a system called Forvia Excellence System. It would be equitable to like the Toyota Way. But even our partners at Toyota talk about how much better the Forvia Excellence System is. And that really becomes the basis for what both companies, Faurecia and Hella, strive to achieve in their production environments, their R&D facilities, how they run the business. So what you're getting is you're getting a lot of expertise from 2 really good tier 1 that they both had good names out there for product innovation, for quality, and now you've got the best of both worlds coming together. So one of the things both companies really dig into is the innovation. The engineering. That is the gold that's in the chest, deep in the castle, behind the moat. I mean, that's a big deal. And staying out in front of the mega trends, staying in touch with the customers. I mean, they put a really heck of a show on at the Consumer Electronics Show, their own building, so it's by invite only. They take that very, very seriously. And so that's what the customers are getting. You're getting that innovation and quality of product that manifests itself in the independent aftermarket.
And so while Hella is known for its lighting technologies, right? Tell us about the company's thermal management product lines and how they support your overall strategy in the aftermarket.
Hella has, in the independent aftermarket, We offer, depending on how you look at it, we offer 11, 12, 13 product categories. Okay, you mentioned some of the biggest. We're known for lighting. The Hella legacy went back 125 years. Like a year or two later, they came out with horns. They've been doing horns about as much as lights. We actually sell more electronics than lights. Even though we're known for lighting, the bigger business is electronics. We've been in the electronics for at least about 60 years or so now. And then the fast follows are the brakes and thermal. Thermal, we've been in that for 20 years. We got out for a few years. We're back into it now. And even that time we were off. We were designing, developing stuff that we're launching right now. So getting back in the thermal game has been a passion of ours and a journey. And that journey is going to continue for the next 3 years. There's a steady diet of new products and SKUs coming out every couple months for the next 3 years. So working on the thermal management side on the OE, there is definitely a high degree of pioneering work that our engineers do with the OEMs. We've got a coolant control hub that really brings a lot of different things together and proactively manages the thermal aspects of the vehicles. Because the vehicles are just getting hotter, more complex. So they're, that kind of innovation and technology, again, manifests itself in the independent aftermarket. So we're going to be in all the things that are engine cooling and air conditioning, just like the other thermal players. I know our product is testing out as good or better than our competitors in that. So really, Hella, what it stands for is just definitely a better, best type product category. It's not a commodity. I would not look at the engineering we put into the product as in any way, shape, or form a commodity. So.
Right. So it's engineering-centric customer, perfect for an engineer.
Yes. When you get, I love to talk technical.
Love it. So Forvia Hella states that achieving 0 failures is the ultimate quality benchmark. What systems, processes, or cultural principles help drive that level of performance across the company?
Again, a lot of that pedigree stems from the OE side. If you get into, so every tier one's got their own quality mission statements, okay? And some of them can get pretty wordy. Ours is probably right in the middle. But when you look at breaking down the design and development of the product and doing, system FEMAs to design FEMAs, and a DVP and the process FEMAs, all of that care that's put in all that stuff really speaks to the quality of the engineering, the development of the product behind the scenes. So, and if you read our mission statement, it gets into things of the product safety, the conformity, the raw materials, product cybersecurity aspects of it. So proactively assessing risks in some of those tools that I mentioned up front, making sure you're testing for that so you don't have problems downstream. I know they take seriously about every employee having skin in the game for making sure that everything we do has got quality behind it. And we don't, like any tier one, you're going to have some issues along the way. But one of the things that's buried inside of our mission statement is continuous improvement. There's no doubt, just always getting better, whether it's continuous process layered audits in a production plant or problem hunting or just being able to react quickly to independent aftermarket customer needs, because they're just as important. Those are the parallels between that OE side and the independent aftermarket side. You still got the customer needs, you got to react quickly, you got to problem solve quickly, get down to that root cause and put in the corrective action so it never happens again.
So Mike, it's tradition on DriveTime to do something we call lightning round. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. You're just going to give me a quick answer off the top of your head.
Okay.
So as a Cleveland guy, this is just perfect for a Cleveland guy. Are you a Guardians guy, a Cavs guy, or a Browns guy, or all the above equally?
I would say 2 of the 3. I'm Cleveland everything, but I would say the Indians first. The Guardians, the Browns, and then the Cavaliers.
Okay. So. If you could spend a day doing anything completely unrelated to your job, what would it be?
Something with my faith, with the church.
What's a life lesson you learned maybe even as a child or a younger person, that has made you a better leader?
Oh, that's a tough one. Humility and learning agility are probably the two most important things, aspects of what I think a good leader is. And yeah, I think just learning those along the way.
Do you have a preferred type of music?
Whatever the boss is listening to at home, and she likes country, so, you know, I listen to what the boss listens to.
Got it. So what's the joke from, what was the movie where they talked about, we play both kinds of music, country and Western?
Right.
What was the movie?
John Candy in it, Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. What's your most frequented restaurant in Greater Atlanta?
Oh, gosh. It'd have to be Nick and Norm's in downtown Sonoy. So the small town I live in is about 10 minutes from work. It's where they filmed The Walking Dead. It's in Sonoy, Georgia. And one of the actors and the director made a restaurant called Nick and Norm's in downtown Sonoy. Great atmosphere, great food, never a bad meal, always a good time. That's our go-to.
Mike, great to have you on AMN Drive Time, sponsored by our friends at Aishin.
Yeah, thank you for having me.